remote control? Is that? Yeah, that's good. If you look at the Vision 2020, how many of you remember 10 years ago, 20 years ago, in newspaper, magazines, media, TV channels, everywhere, we were listening Vision 2020. You remember that? How many of you wrote a paper or an article on that topic? Vision 2020. Raise your hand. Show your hand. I did as well. Right? So, the whole idea is the global economy, looking at Vision 2020. 18 months from now, 2020 is knocking our door. Right? June 2018, we have. So right from 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, every time we keep on hearing or keep on observing Vision 2020. But if you look at different organizations, be it World Trade Organization or United Nations, International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank, and most of the governments of various countries, they did their own Vision 2020. I'm aware that today this international conference is represented by so many countries? 33 countries, right? I'm sure 33 countries, governments, you all have had your own version of Vision 2020 of your country? Yes or no? Anyone who didn't have had? Show of hands if anybody didn't have had Vision 2020 kind of thing. All of you had it, right? So the idea is to also look at what has happened and what is the recent decade. Now, in my research, what I found in recent decade is that the global economy has now become a global capitalist system. The problem is there is a high concentration of capitalism and capitalist system. And the idea is they, you know who is this they? They want to have human capital, people like you and me. And they want to divide us in 3 categories or classify us in 3 categories. Which are they? 1, organic intellectuals. Who are they? They are the people who are experts in overall thinking. They are the top notches of central banks, ministers, right? Professors, researchers. Maybe some of the organic intellectuals are in this room, right? And strategizing, right? That's the role. Second category of people which is being divided now is a big mass of technocrats and administrators. And what's their role? The role is to resolve the problems, fixing, right? Trying to find out solutions of technical issues, try to maintain things, try to develop. But the biggest mass of the population, what we call is the biggest mass of labor, not allowed to do critical thinking. Only thing they are allowed to do is McDonald's and Coca-Cola. Right? Now, I'm not against any company or any specific brand name, don't misunderstand me. Anyone working in that company, I have high regards and respect for you and the company as well. But the idea is the critical mass of population not allowed to do critical thinking, mainly for labor in agriculture, industry and services. They can be carefully controlled and they can be discarded when not needed. That's the whole global capitalist system being emerging. And global economy is increasingly concentrating in the hands of few wealthy people. And some people are so wealthy, their net worth or their company's income is more than the GDPs of a country. And I did some observations on here, looking at the total world population and how is it going, how is the wealth distribution of top 1% of the world, and what's the wealth distribution of bottom 99% of the world. And what I found is that from 2000 till 2014 data, it was like kind of 48, 49% of top 1%, which is again similar to just 50% in 2014. I know there's a little bit of dip for them some time ago. You could thank to global financial crisis 2008 and its aftermath, aftershocks. And look at bottom 99% income as well. So what I'm trying to convey is about 50% income of the world population is among 1% of the world population. And about other 50% of the world's income is among 99% of the world population. Some more observations I found in my research is world's 80 richest people, they have doubled in the nominal terms from 2009 to 2014. While the wealth of bottom 50% is lower in 2014 as compared to 2009. Again, the graph itself tells the story. What has happened? The brown line to the wealth of the richest 80 people. And that is, again, a very, very startling observation. Three numbers I want to throw you. A new arithmetic I want to teach you today is 8 is equal to 3.6 billion. New arithmetic I want to teach you today is 1 equals to 129. How many of you are accountants in the room? Mathematicians? In mathematics, what do we say? 1 plus 1 equals 2. Accountants would say 1 plus 1 equals 2.
4, 3.
How many you want to make it?
Synergy.
What do you want it to?
What do you want it? Yes. That's the one. Right? Right? Binary mathematicians would say 1 plus 1 equals 11. Right? I'm telling you 1 equals to 129. And another number I want to throw on you is 1 equals to 10,000. What does this number mean? This number means once 8 billionaires, 8, their wealth is equal to world's half wealth of 3.6 billion people. So what I'm saying is 8 equals 3.6 billion. UK's, sorry, I should have not done that. Yeah, 1 equals 129. What does that number mean? UK London Stock Exchange, popularly known as FTSE 100, top 100 companies, CEOs, what are their salaries? Top 100 companies CEO salary, as an observation, pay package of one CEO is equal to 129 employees' average salary. One CEO gets same amount of money that 129 employees on an average gets in top 100 FTSE companies. I'm referring to companies listed on LSE. By the way, no FTSE 100 companies have their own data about salary proportion between CEO and other employees. Legally, they are not expected to publish. 10,000 people working in Bangladesh garment factory, they earn same salary in total 10,000 people, which is earned by one CEO in UK. So these are some shocking observations. Why? And how does this happen? How do they make it? Corporates are popularly known to buy politics to avoid taxes. And these are some tax havens which are able to save about $273 billion income every year in different countries. These are the top 20 tax havens in Fortune 500 list. And what happens is that these big companies, they form small companies, subsidiary companies, and those small companies are located in different parts of the world, be it Luxembourg or Netherlands, or anywhere, or in Malta, or in Mauritius. I'm careful of the time, so I just want to make sure that. Corporations exploit labor. We all know that. A startling example, Apple iPhone 4 in the year 2010 calculation made about 58% profit by selling iPhone 4. How many of you got iPhone? Good, good. So you are able to contribute to the profitability of Apple computers 58%. But you know, the most difficult part in the phone is the technology and the assembling of the technology. Do you agree? The way the mobile phone components, the parts, the circuits, the camera, keypad, sorry, there's no keypad in iPhone. The screen, all needs to be fixed in a small tiny box. Who does that? Who does that? People like you and me cannot figure it out. We can't even put the phone case. We can't put the phone in the phone case, isn't it? Just imagine the level of skills and engineering and detailing is required. That they are called real laborers, real engineers who are doing the work. You know how much they are paid? They are paid the purple slice, 5.3% of the entire turnover. 5.3% is paid to the laborers, engineers, who are the real people who are actually assembling the phone. And 58% goes to Apple's profit. No wonder New York Stock Exchange is listing Apple as the world's historically most valuable company. No wonder at 3 o'clock midnight, thousands of people make a queue to buy an iPhone. In fact, you can sell your position in the queue on Gumtree.com. Seriously, there's a market. You can stand there at 2 o'clock in the morning, sell your position in 100 pounds, and there will be people to buy your position in the queue. Why? Because you are all contributing to 58.5% profit. My question is, are we growing too fast? My question is growth risky? If you understand basic principles of economics, I know we have very learned, eminent economists in the room. Economic growth ideally should also accompany economic